So, next up, I want to mention that as a teen felt who feels different, especially when it comes to living with autism, I feel like there were some times where I just didn't fit in, or because of my autism, I wouldn't think of things in the same way as other people do. So, if I feel different from living with autism, what are some ways that I can turn some of my struggles into empathy and strength, just like how you did?
I think something that just comes to mind is I feel like there's this misconception out there that people with autism, especially, like can't be empathetic or don't like have that capacity. And I don't think that's true at all. That's not how I've experienced a lot of folks, both personally and professionally, who have been on the spectrum. So I just that's one myth that I'm really trying to bust out there in the media because I just think it's not true. But that just came to mind as you asked me this question. But turning struggles, into being stronger. I feel like what you're doing in sharing your struggles on this global scale is I mean the epitome of how to do that. So I think you're a really good example of being someone who can be open about their experiences because then others read your books or watch your show, listen to your show, and things resonate with them. And then they just don't feel like they're the only person who's experiencing X, Y, or Z. So I really think just talking about it and raising awareness and being open to being a voice for the community can turn that into strength. And you're doing that, so it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Speaking up about what you're going through in your everyday life, and especially some struggles, is a great way of getting other people to understand and know who you are. And I think that's definitely an awesome thing to do. So that's why I have my podcast and my books to share with everyone, not just in the US, but worldwide.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Love it.
All right, so. Next up, I want to ask you, what would you tell your younger self on some days where you felt like you were being left behind or misunderstood? And what are some ways that someone my age can start believing that lived experiences can really become a purpose?
Yeah, I think there's so many things I wish my younger self had known or had been told or just understood and had words for it for myself. But I always felt I had to be on everyone else's timeline, if that makes sense. Like, you graduate high school and you go to college, and then for me, I knew I was going to go to grad school, so I knew that was part of it. And then it's like, and then you're supposed to get married, and then you're supposed to buy a house, and then you're supposed to have kids. And so there's all these timeline, this sort of specific timeline that it feels like socially has been placed on all of us that we need to be doing. And it just doesn't respect all the differences in people's views and what they want out of their lives, and that they don't have to fit into that timeline box. So I wish I just didn't keep thinking as a kid like I need to be at this, doing this at this age, and then I need to be doing this thing at this age, and just kind of let things be and fall into place as they did. And just I don't know, not seeing myself as a failure all the time, or that yeah, there was something wrong with me. I keep going back to that, but that was a thought that I had all the time, day in, day out. Like something is wrong, but no one can figure it out. So maybe I'm just making it up. That's something that was always there too. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely understand. That's how I felt back in my younger days. Like I just needed to follow everybody's timeline, especially in school, where I just graduate and then go to college and then get married, like you said. But that's not how everyone's life works. and everybody's life is different, no matter if you get married or not, or decide if you want to go to college or not. That's
Right.
not
And it
how
doesn't,
everyone's life
yeah.
works.
And it doesn't prove your worth. A lot of my self-worth has always been tied to accomplishments or productivity and producing something and being good at something. Never just, well, I like doing this and it makes me happy. So that's why I do it. Like there had to always just be some uh extreme, explicit benefit of everything I was doing, some reason for it, not just being creative and being me. Yeah, lots of pressure to be a certain way growing up that I wish I didn't put on myself, or I don't know, looked at it differently back then.
Yeah, I definitely understand. And that's why I really think writing books and doing a podcast is what I really want to do because it's good to find what you really love, no matter what it is, and learn more and more about it so you can become a true expert at what you're doing for an everyday life and career.
Yeah, 100%. Well said.
Yeah. And I've also heard that you were a licensed psychologist and the founder and owner of Psychology Works PLLC.
Yes, yes, I am. I started that practice over 5 years ago now, which is a huge milestone for a small business, especially private practice with in my industry. So I'm really, really proud of that. But we're located in Bentonville, Arkansas. I'm originally from Massachusetts. Grew up in a very rural area of Massachusetts, and then came down here for training and postdoc years, and just kind of stayed. It's a pretty nice area, Northwest Arkansas. But I also just got a license to practice in over 42 states doing remote assessments. So that is something I just got recently. So if there are folks out there really wanting an assessment from a true expert, I'd be happy to do that. So you can visit the website for my practice and click on your state and see if you're part of that license, because unfortunately not every single state is part of it yet, at least. But I'm really excited about being able to expand my services across the country. That's really exciting.
Yeah, expanding your services sounds like a really great goal. And I also feel the same way about numerous things like writing books and becoming popular with children and becoming am having my books becoming numerous merchandise and movies and even a balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, just like what you're doing.
That would be great. I grew up watching the Macy's Thanksgiving parade every year, so that resonates with me. That goal, I love that, and I hope we see that. Yeah,
Yeah, I really want to see that someday as well. I know that would be a really big dream come true, if I have to be honest.
yeah, that'd be a really big accomplishment. Absolutely.
All right, so it was very interesting getting to talk to you about being a licensed psychologist and having a decade of clinical experience and specializing in psychological testing and evaluations. It was very interesting to get to talk to you about your life with ADHD and a chronic illness. So I'm very glad we were able to have this nice conversation together.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I did better than I thought I would, so I'm good with that. Thank you. All
All
right.
right, anytime at all.